Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Rupp Report. I'm your host, Tyler Russell, joined by co-host Israel Schill. This episode, we have a lot to go over. Real quick, shout out to Israel he was at the UK press conference for head coach Will Stein.
Yes,
made it over here right away on time.
Yeah.
Now we're getting this out for you guys. How was that?
It was a lot of fun. It's so exciting to have some young blood at the helm, some exuberance. You know what I mean? It's like, I think he's going to come in, he's going to get to work. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of time to get some of those Oregon people interested in coming to play in the SEC.
Those Big Ten ballers,
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But it's a basketball podcast, so
So that was a positive thing you bring up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Moving to the negatives.
Oh, man.
Kentucky, number 18 Kentucky falls to number 16 North Carolina inside of Rupp Arena last night. What was it, 67-64, 9:30 tip-off.
Yeah.
Rupp Arena was jumping, man, and I was shocked about, I guess somewhat shocked about the end result.
Yeah, I haven't been to too many games. One of the loudest environments that I've been to at Rupp, for sure. Obviously, a Battle of the Blue Bloods, it's going to be like that. Mm-hmm. But it was so close for the whole game that you could feel the intensity and the energy just brewing from the fans the whole time, which I think, I'm not going to say that Caleb Wilson looked scared. He didn't play like himself last night.
That is true.
Shot horribly.
That's true.
Doesn't matter because look who won the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the one positive I think we can touch on was the defense yesterday. I felt was great.
Yeah.
I felt like the team defense was good, but so was the individual assignments, exactly what they needed to do against UNC, against Caleb Wilson. But the shooting, man.
Yeah.
The 3-point shooting and the 1 for 14 to end the game. How you feel about that?
I mean, you just simply cannot go 11 minutes. That is 1/4 of the entire game. 11 minutes without, knocking down a field goal. And the only reason that Kentucky was able to stay in that game was because UNC, went on a pretty long streak without scoring as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, in your home arena for 10 to 11 minutes without a field goal is just, that to me is the biggest storyline of the season. I know it happened in one game, but no national championship winning team, no team that has aspirations of winning the national championship could ever, against any opponent, any game, anywhere, anytime, afford to go 10 minutes without making a field goal. Yeah. And I think that speaks on the volume of just where this team is at right now. Coming into the game, they had a great opportunity, which we talked about in last episode, great opportunity to finally, have a ranked opponent at home. They had an opportunity to go in there and kind of, shoot the lights out, because if they played better offensively, their defense would have won in the game. And
absolutely.
Now
the defense was sound, and it was at a point where if you don't go 1 for 13 from 3, and BG is the guy who hits your only 3, if you shoot the ball better and just produce on offense, that game's in reach. And even without it, the fact that they only lost by 3 and went to a 6-point lead just before the end of that game, the fact that you can get to that level without really playing great on offense shows that similarly, in my mind, it's similarly to how Kentucky football was, where it was offense was clicking for a while, defense wasn't.
Can never have both.
And defense was clicking and offense wasn't. Yeah. And you can't have both. And last night was a true example of it. Just both of them couldn't click for Kentucky at the same time.
Yeah, and with all the aspirations that we just touched on, with Kentucky winning a national championship, I mean, You simply cannot do that. And for teams to win a national championship, and we saw it with Florida last year, they got hot, but when their offense was clicking, their defense was clicking as well, and vice versa.
Totally.
So you need to do that, and you need to have that in order to win. Again, it is only December. We clicked the panic button last time we were here, right here. I mean, we got to replace it and put another one in.
Yeah, I guess there's no other.
Yeah, how else?
No,
how else? I mean, Kentucky's 0 for 3 now against ranked opponents. And Louisville, throw them a bone. I mean, Louisville looks unbelievable, one of the top teams in the country.
Yeah, still.
Same with Michigan State. Same with Michigan State. But when they played them at the time, neither of those teams were in the top 10, and Kentucky got their doors blown off in both of them. So now to lose at home to number 16 North Carolina, I just don't see. We'll touch on this in a little bit, but how anyone could possibly believe in their hearts and have hope going into Nashville and they play Gonzaga this Friday. What has Kentucky basketball shown people to make them believe that they actually have a shot at winning this game?
And I can't really answer that question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's hard, like, going through the stats, the team stats of the UNC game. They had less fouls, more points in the paint, more fast break points, less turnovers, more blocks, more steals, and less rebounds, but a higher free throw percentage, like a higher field goal percentage. You win all these team stats and you still lose.
Yeah.
Like, what do you say when you're Pope? You go in the locker room. What do you say to your team when you guys are playing well, besides one facet of the game, and like you just slips out of your fingers like that?
Yeah, no, that last 10 minutes really just summed up the entire game. But it's taking. Let me rephrase. It didn't sum up the entire game. It took away from all the positives that there were.
Exactly.
In the game.
It's
That's
like
what I was going.
I would
for.
love to come in here and talk about how
The
great
first 30
they
minutes,
played. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. In the first 30 minutes, but the last 10
is what lost them the game.
It was ugly.
Awful.
It really was so awful.
And we said this before, but the fact that they were able to lose by 3 points.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a positive attribution to their defense.
Exactly. It's like how do you think about it, because it's nice that they held them to 67, but it's not nice that you only score 64.
Yeah, it's just, again, especially in Rupp Arena, there's just no positives aside from defense, but it's hard to look at the positives when this team is now 0-3 against ranked opponents.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about it last episode, this December schedule. This first game was going to be a really good telling of how the rest of the December was going to go. They obviously have 3 more ranked opponents coming up. But I'm just at a loss of words. I mean, I'm not Mark Pope. I'm not, in the in and outs of play calling and all of that stuff. But, my roommates, they ask me what needs to change. My mom, my family, everyone's like, oh, you're the Kentucky guy. Like, what needs to change? And at first it was chemistry.
Yeah.
But last night they were moving the ball around and they still sucked.
Yeah,
so
it was like they looked good.
Yeah.
Playing together as a unit. Like I was saying, team defense was great. But, yeah, it's like, we're how many games are we in? 8 games in now?
Yeah.
Not a staple win on the season.
Nope.
Not a good win on the season.
Nope.
Against a good opponent.
3 opportunities.
Nothing
to show for any of them.
That Purdue game in the exhibition, you can throw that in the trash. That means absolutely nothing. Like, it already meant very little.
Yeah.
But now it really means nothing because you can't back it up in the regular season.
It's just so, like, touching on that, like, I can't fathom how they won that game.
And then they go lose to Georgetown.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, and that right there, we should have known. Yeah. It's like, what in the world are we going to be dealing with this season?
There's just, I mean, again, guys, it's December. There is so much time. We haven't even hit conference play yet.
Yeah, really. There is so much time.
But I really start to wonder every week when we record these episodes, how many weeks in a row are we going to say that? We should keep count. How many weeks in a row are we going to try and be positive and say there's time? There's time. And there absolutely, don't get me wrong, is time. But I mean, no one on the team is performing the way that everyone, like Cam Williams is not shooting the way that he was supposed to. That's why he's here. Otega Owe is not leading the way he's supposed to. And, last night he looked really solid, but overall not that solid. So he's not performing. I mean, Jaden Quaintance is out. Jalen Lowe is out. But you can't be labeled the deepest team in the country and not get anywhere near a result that you want when neither or 2 out of the guys aren't on the court.
Yeah, you can't pride yourself on depth and then not use the depth to your advantage to win games. It just makes no sense. And
it's just really not possible. And I think that, a lot of, I texted my former editor at the Kernel, Cole. I texted him when Kentucky was putting their roster together over the summer, and I was like, this may be an unpopular opinion, and I may look like the biggest dumbass right now, excuse my language, but like how... Like, I don't think that this roster is as good as everyone's saying he is. And, he was like, dude, like, you got to give it time. Like, it's going to fall into place and then this and that. But people's concern was it's a bunch of role players. And right now they're all playing like a bunch of walk-ons.
Yeah, they really are. The only guy really who's impressed me this season so far has been DA.
Okay. Yeah, no, I could see that. I was going to say Colton Chandler.
Okay.
Those are the only two.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I mean newcomers, but like transfers.
Yeah, coming in with the new roster.
Yeah, Malachi is also a guy who's been performing very well.
But he can. Yeah. I mean, last night he got torched. We'll talk about that. But
that's tough, man. But I mean, like, is it time to have the conversation that, like, I mean, obviously it's not. People are saying, like, fire Pope, fire Pope. People are going to say whatever. This is Kentucky fan base. Yeah. He does not need to go anywhere.
No.
He does not need to go anywhere. He does not deserve to get fired.
You get him out, say now, which I can't even believe we're even talking about this right now. But
it's absolutely ridiculous.
Got him out at the end of this season. It's 2 seasons. You could argue. Yeah. Anyone would argue. You didn't even give him time.
You didn't even give him time. Exactly. And so the conversation that I think people are starting to have is like, is Pope able to get his team prepared for matchups?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it.
And I think that, that's the huge, because when you hear him talking about it, we weren't ready for this game.
Yeah.
We weren't ready for Louisville. We weren't ready for Michigan State.
But we will be ready for the next one.
Yeah, but we're always working for the next one. We're looking at the film. I mean, it's like the Bush-Hamden answer. You know what I mean? We're going to look at the film and we're going to work on it and we're going to get better for next week, which is coach speak. But at the end of the day, it's time to have the conversation of why isn't he getting the team prepared and like what's causing that divide. And I don't know. We talked chemistry earlier in the year. I don't think it's chemistry.
Yeah.
I think the team looks like a cohesive unit.
Yeah.
But it's like you come out to these games and it's almost like you're not thinking about the game as high as a level as you should be.
Yeah.
Like you need to come out on the floor every time and say, like, this is my last game on earth.
Yeah.
And these guys don't do that. And I think that starts the coaching.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. I think last night, I mean, I got a few texts from people, and it's something that I even noticed. Like, they were passing, like, Malachi Moreno was hyping the crowd up. They showed personality. Like, that first, like, I would say, like, 10, 15, like, the first half was like, okay, this is a basketball team.
Yeah,
and that's the Kentucky that we haven't seen yet this year. But again,
like a team that can compete.
Yeah, and then again, you just can't do both. And it's like every game they started terribly, played good in the second half. Now they started good and played atrociously in the second half to the point where you go 10 minutes, a fourth of the game without, making a field goal. And I really think that it's just the whole fan base is at a loss of words. And I'm not saying anything about Pope, like I'm getting him out, but I do think that the fan base is starting to get lost.
Yeah.
They're starting to lose the fan base in the sense of, you show up to Rupp Arena for a 9:30 game, like, I just don't understand.
Bet your ass I hope they're winning before I go home at 1 a.m.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
it's just so
crazy.
frustrating, and it's not just because they're not winning, but it's because they're supposed to be winning, and all the talks were like, I think they had, the 7th or 8th best odds from the national title this year, and after this game...
You start off at number 9.
Yeah, and we're going to see
start the season.
with the Gonzaga game, but there's a pretty solid chance if they, which I'm assuming, as of what we've seen, they're going to lose that game, they're going to be unranked. Yeah, they're going to be unranked within 3 weeks.
And it's like the fall off needs to be studied type thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like this
in
is
5 years it'll be, remember that 20, 25, 26 Kentucky basketball team that had aspirations and was supposed to win the national title, and they came unranked within 3 rankings.
I want to touch on one more thing that you were talking about earlier with over the summer talk about the roster, because that reminds me of a time when Kai and I were doing our podcast over the summer talking about, wow, this roster is deep, has a lot of talent. Is it too talented? Is it too deep? And now that was like clearly not the right way to think about it. You know what I mean?
But like, dude, you were just going off what everyone else was saying.
Exactly.
Like, any sports opinion that you have by yourself is always going to be influenced by other things that come into it. And
so if I'm spending an hour or 2 hours reading about how this team's going to win the national championship, you damn sure I'm going to believe they're going to win the national championship.
Not just reading one thing, reading everything.
No, everything
said that.
And it's like the hype surrounding the team in the preseason was crazy. Like, the fact that there is a banner in the gym that says number 9, the assignment on it, to me, I think is a little bit crazy.
To me, it's a little embarrassing.
It's a little, because you got, I mean, you're gonna be staring at that for 10 years if you play like this for the rest. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna be staring at that thing till the next coach comes around.
Yeah. So I think obviously, we were just talking about if Kentucky loses to Gonzaga, they're going to go unranked, and I don't want to give anyone any ideas in terms of how they trash the team, but the whole year preseason, it was Kentucky's going to win banner number 9.
Yeah.
After this Gonzaga game, it'll literally be 9 games it took them to go unranked. And that's something I don't want to say because that's just giving Louisville fans or any fans.
Yeah, you were telling me about that last time, dude, and I was like, I hope it doesn't come to fruition. But here we are, 8 games in, and we're...
Yeah. But if Kentucky does beat Gonzaga, and we'll talk about that in a second, do they stay ranked? At 19, losing at home to
24, 25.
25, that's it.
Yeah.
And that would be more than generous to keep them in the rankings. Even
putting
if
a 3-loss team 9 games into the season in the top 25 is a crazy concept to begin with. And with the fact that they cannot win a meaningful game is a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah. And I mean, the whole season, the way you win a national championship is just meaningful games. Every SEC game is meaningful. Every SEC tournament game is meaningful.
The signature wins.
And every NCAA tournament game is obviously meaningful. So.
Last season felt way more signature than anything this year so far.
Oh, dude, when I was in Atlanta watching them when they beat Duke, it was just
what a game, man.
Feel like the excitement of and that's something I haven't experienced here yet at Kentucky.
Yeah.
I was a junior last year, and you as well, same way of first 2 years, every ranked team that Kentucky was going to play under Cal our first 2 years here, it felt like they weren't going to win. He doesn't win big games, or he hasn't in recent years. Mark Pope comes in, wins these big games, and now they're
Battle
over
of Seattle,
3. Yeah,
win the CBS Classic and Madison Square Garden. You're winning all these things, and it's like, what happened? So I mean, I guess this is a good segue into more breakdown of Gonzaga.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Kentucky's back on this Friday against number 11 Gonzaga, and I think it's Music City Madness, I believe, in Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. Gonzaga is 7-1, number 11 in the country, but they are coming off of a 101-61 blowout loss to number 7 Michigan.
After winning 100-61 the game before.
Number 7 at the time, Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan's looking like that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But, I mean, it's obviously you want to say, they just got blown out by a great team. We just lost close to a good team. We're similar.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone was saying about UNC game because UNC lost to Michigan State, blah, 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 blah. And now here we are. And it's like, I'm not going to use that argument anymore because I could not give you 3 reasons why Kentucky wins this game.
I couldn't give you one.
I mean, really.
I think it was you. I was last night at the game in the press box.
Yeah.
Or it would have been Kai. It was someone. I was like, no, it was Mario from KSR.
Yeah, okay.
He asked me if I thought we were going to. He's like, oh, what do you think, man? I think we're going to get the dub tonight. And I was like, they've not shown me or anyone a single reason as to why I would say, yes, they're going to win.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. And then they go out there and, go 10 minutes without a field goal and lose the game.
Goose egg.
But, no, I don't even want to go. I know it's my job, but dude, it's just it's just so different from covering a team that's not winning games. But the difference is covering a team that's not winning games that was supposed to win games. It was supposed to be like a senior year of coverage for us, and it was going to be unbelievable. And they have all these great teams they're going to play. And
I was so ready to be like, man, I was at the game where Kentucky beat Louisville. I was at the game where they beat UNC at home.
Yep.
I was at the Brandon Garrison legacy game. No, but I mean
3 legacy game.
Yeah, right. But I mean, seriously, it's such a script flip from where we were even 6 weeks ago.
It's just unthinkable. Like if someone would have told me that this would be the case scenario right now, I would have told you you're crazy, and that it's just unbelievable. But Gonzaga has two big guys, 2 forwards, Braden Huff and Graham Ike, who are both averaging near 15 points a game. Now, how on earth without Mo Diabate if he doesn't play, even if he does play, how is Kentucky going to guard their 2 best players who are the 2 forwards?
They're not.
They're going to try.
They're going to try.
Not going to happen.
It's the same thing. Obviously, you could look at the Caleb Wilson defense and say, all right, that's a good defense on a good forward. I mean, that's a fluke game. He shot 5 for 18 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These guys are legit, and these guys are big. These aren't little, shifty small forwards. These are they're big boys that are gonna knock the house down low. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and experience comes into play as well. I mean, Caleb Wilson, that's probably was UNC now 7-1, so that's their 8th. That was his 8th game.
That was his 8th game in college.
And Braden Huff and Graham Ike are guys who have played obviously more games than that. So it's going to be really interesting to see that, and it's honestly something that Kentucky should be more than worried about, or more than have on their radar at all times, not just during the game but even right now and preparing for it. I mean, I don't know what Pope does behind the scenes. No one does except for him and his staff and the players, but something's got to give, something's got to change in terms of, we talked about it before, of how they prepare, because if they do not prepare for this, Braden Huff and / Graham Ike will have at least 15 plus or at least 20 each.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right now at Gonzaga's game versus Alabama earlier this year. I know it was a early in the season matchup, but Braden Huff had 18 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, a block. And Graham Ike had 21 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists.
And that's against Bama.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Tyne Grant Foster. 21,
insane,
7
legit.
and 1 with 2 blocks. Like, these are guys that I cannot tell you who could possibly respond to them on defense.
I really can't. And that's kind of a product of us talking before about who on the team. There's no one on the team that is performing to where they should be.
Yeah.
Colin Chandler has been the rock for Kentucky. Him and Denzel. I mean, Chandler may not show as much on the stat sheet, but just the way he goes
about it. It's
like
a Marcus Smart kind of guy. You know, diving
one of
in
those
for the
guys
loose balls.
That I'm always. There's a few players that when they have the ball in their hands, it's like, oh, this could go either way.
Yeah.
When Colin Chandler has the ball, I'm very confident up to this point that he's either going to attempt a shot that has a good chance of going in, or at least find someone. Yeah. He's not going to turn it over. And
like the game winner he attempted last night was a good take, in my opinion.
It was a good take. The only problem was that it was his offhand and reverse layup.
Exactly. I don't think he needed to do all that. Yeah. You know,
he could have gotten fouled too, going straight up with his right hand. But still, I mean, I think Pope probably drew it up that way. He drew it up that way. And
I think it's the right guy to give the ball to. Exactly. Absolutely the right guy to give the ball to in that scenario.
And so that plays a big factor into the confidence and his growth in his second season here.
Yeah. I think the only guys, I mean, Andrei Yelovich is going to be. Yeah, but he's seeing how he played defensively yesterday. I think he's going to be taking on a brunt of the defensive load.
Yeah. And,
at forward.
In terms of Huff and Graham Ike, Yelovich is going to have to be solid on there, and he can't make any immature fouls.
Yeah, and I think that he's a good guy to put on them strictly because of his professional experience overseas.
Yes,
you know,
I agree.
This is not his first time seeing a grown man in the post. You know what I mean?
Agree.
He's experienced a lot in that category. So I think other than him, nothing.
Crickets.
Yeah,
crickets.
Yeah. I mean, really, I got nothing for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that'll just lead us into our ending segment of a score prediction. I mean, maybe we could flip the script. Because I'm taking Kentucky to lose. That's kind of the whole what this whole episode has been so far, and I'm going to stand by that, and I'm going to take them to lose.
I'd love to not, but I can't.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, you can't take them to win this game.
And our job sitting here talking on this podcast is to not sugarcoat and be positive about stuff that is clearly negative.
It's like praise when they do good, bash when they do bad, and
just call it out.
Yeah, exactly.
We're talking about our takes and from what we see here as students at University of Kentucky, and
we're not homers too. We've talked about this in previous episodes. From New Jersey, I'm from New Hampshire.
Yeah, we're going to call it how it is.
We're going to call it how it is. We don't sugarcoat things.
And the way I see it is Kentucky, I guess if I had to give a score, is going to lose this game like 84-65.
Yeah, I'm thinking like 81-67, somewhere in like a 13 to 20 point win probably for Gonzaga. I really could be more than that too,
I just can't see Kentucky putting up more than 70 points or even reaching 70 points.
Goodness, no. If they shoot like they did last night, I mean, they were airballing threes
every time.
Like they weren't even hitting the rim or the backboard.
Aberdeen averages 2+ airballs a game at least.
Goodness.
I'm actually going to dive deep into that after this and find out.
That's like an interesting stat to look at because
it's so true.
I mean, they're just like, and they're open looks. Like these aren't shots where it's like they're like getting an outlet pass, finding the guy wide open at three,
sets himself,
getting his feet set, puts up a shot, airmail. I'm like, are we so for real right now? Like, put me out there. I'm probably shooting the same percentage as DA did last night.
Yeah, I think I'm going to play some pickup basketball after this, so I'm going to send my mixtape. Be like, look at this corner three. It's not going over.
The next Zach Towel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's awesome, man.
But that rounds it up for us, guys. We appreciate you guys tuning in. We're trying our best to stay positive.
We're trying, guys.
We're trying to be give you guys some positive insight on what's going on. But from what you guys see, from what we see, I think we could all agree that this is not the Kentucky team that we all expected them to be, and this is not the team that is proving and has shown that they have what it takes to beat Gonzaga this Friday. So make sure you guys follow the Field of 68 on all social media platforms, wherever you listen to your podcasts. We will be there.